questions on film later. When I came in June of 2014, I promised the government that we would stand by Lebanon, and so we have made now $1 billion worth of commitments. We just made a special $100 million commitment of very concessional finance. That's essentially zero interest loan over a fairly long maturity period to support the educational system. But we want to add an additional $250 million for education. We have $650 million for water. This is the largest investment we've made in Lebanon ever. And we also have investments in healthcare. We'd also like to help build a special economic zone. Tripoli, right close to the Syrian border, is a great place, we think, to set up a special economic zone. And the president of the Islamic Development Bank and I promised that we were going to look into not only developing that special economic zone, but potentially build a railway system all the way up to the Syrian border. So if we can do that, then as Syria begins to recover, then special economic zones in Lebanon can be huge suppliers of what will be needed in Syria, and frankly, everything will be needed in Syria. So there's a lot of hopeful things happening. I think the disappointment has been that there's a political stalemate here. We have permission from our governing board to be able to do things that are not usual. These are extraordinary measures. Members of our governing board were here, the executive directors were here, and they visited Lebanon, and they were so worried about the situation here that they told me that it would be fine for us to take extraordinary measures to move. Now, but even that requires action on the part of Parliament and the Cabinet. Both need to work together, finally elect a president, and move quickly. And so this is really a very strong message that I want to give to the Lebanese people, that there are real costs to the dysfunction of these governmental institutions in Lebanon. And the cost is in money not moving directly to communities. And we're not talking about a few, tens of millions of dollars. We're talking about billions of dollars. The bottom line is that Lebanon has done something extraordinary. The people of Lebanon have done something extraordinary, an extraordinary service for the entire rest of the world by accepting so many refugees. The rest of the world is ready to show its gratitude. It's ready to show that we saw what you did, we appreciate it, and we want to move. But right now, what's holding it back is that it's just so difficult to get the government to move on anything. Because of the conflict, we've had to pull out all of our people from Syria in 2011. We continue to follow as closely as we can. I mean, there are many different services that are tracking things like schools that have been destroyed, hospitals that have been destroyed. So we're getting ready to move as quickly as possible. But I think in the case of Syria, like in so many other conflict-ridden places, what we're learning is that the minute the peace is built, you've got to just run in very quickly so that people can see that there is in fact a peace dividend. In countries around the world that have led to peace, if you have a peace agreement but then nothing happens and people are still living in abject poverty, then it's not a very stable situation. He wants to. He still wants to be.